Howdy folks, I hope everyone is doing well today. I am on my way to pick up a metal box to keep some blades in that need to stay oily so that they won't rust while they're not in use. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. What I'm here to talk about today is a concept that most scholastic atheists stick to. And that concept is that the Bible is an ancient book written by goat herders. And typically when they say it with the most sarcastic tone of voice and expressions that they can muster. It's an attempt to discredit Scripture. And they try to claim that because it's a book that has some of the history that it has, and there are other false history surrounding it, that they can't trust anything that's written in it. But let me ask you this. What do atheists trust? They trust their textbooks. And yes, their textbooks are written in more modern times. And they'll tell you that their textbooks are newer and filled with more, just newer information and things that we have learned in recent years. But what they fail to realize is that their books that push the concept of evolution are books on history. They're trying to tell you the history of the world, or at least a certain portion of that history, and history of the universe at large. So, what my question to you is going to be is, are you going to trust the history that's given to you in a book that's written by people who lived closer to the time that it's written about? That would be the Bible that I'm talking about, i.e., do you trust the parts of the Bible that Moses wrote about being at Mount Sinai, considering that he's the one that was there and he's the one that wrote the book about being there and what happened while he was there? Or had you rather trust books written by people today about things that happened a long time ago, according to them, millions and billions of years ago, when there could not have been anyone around to have witnessed those things, because quite frankly, nothing existed billions and billions of years ago. I figured all this stuff out by listening to Frank Turek, and Frank Turek is a church Christian. He's not a Torah observer, from what I understand, just by listening to what he says and stuff like that. So I'm not up here to talk about him. I'm just telling you where I figured this concept out. And the way he says it is apply the claim to itself. And typically what he's talking about when he says that is he's talking about objective versus subjective morality and things like that. So, well, truth is another thing that he talks about. And I'll say it like he says it. What he says is, they say that there is no absolute truth. So if there is no absolute truth, is the statement that there is no absolute truth true? I mean, because if there is no absolute truth, then the statement that there is no absolute truth cannot be true. So, literally, the claim destroys itself. And using that same concept, if the atheists aren't going to trust a book written by the people that were there, that witnessed the events happen, how can the atheist trust a book that was written by people in modern society who weren't there to witness the events? So, anyway, that being said, I will close in customary fashion, and that is to remind you to read Proverbs 18:13, Acts chapter 17 verses 10 and 11, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, and apply those scriptures to your life. And they all basically say that it is your responsibility to study Scripture for yourself and to seek Yahweh and His understanding for yourself, because no one else can do it for you and no one else can give it to you. So, all that being said, I hope to see each and every one of you in the kingdom of heaven. Yahweh bless.